Chat Man Friday,
a podcast for Maine in North and West Melbourne. Chatman Friday. Welcome to Chatman Friday again. After 1 week, we are back to this episode. Me, Sayed, with my very close friend, Osman, and with a very wonderful guest today again with you.
Yes, it's a very beautiful day. I'm Osman, and we are very happy at Chatman Friday to have a great guest today. And one of the, owners of one of the good businesses that we have here in the area of North Melbourne and Errol Street. It's a unique one. We have Mattia here, and he is here with us to help us and to talk to us about the Italian culture, about soccer, about cappuccino, macchiato, although that we offered him some tea. I can
tell the people in advance that this episode will be very interesting.
I'm looking forward for that. So welcome, Mattia.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's really a pleasure to be here sitting with you and having a wonderful chat while sipping tea.
Okay,
you're an interesting person. As we did a pre-chat before the podcast, so I found this episode is going to be one of the best episodes.
Yes, I'm looking forward for that.
Yeah. So Mattia, Osman told a little bit about you, but we want to know more about you. Just tell us a little bit more about yourself. When you came to Australia, so what you're doing. Of course, Osman said, but a bit more.
Look, guys, I arrived in Australia basically in March 2016, so almost 10 years.
Almost, yes.
And I came from a little village close to Rome.
Oh, good.
Probably like 80 km from Rome. I am a third generation cobbler, so leatherworking and repairing shoes has been always a vibrant part of our family.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I'm really passionate about shoes, leatherworking. I'm really passionate about coffee. I'm really passionate about wine. So I think my Italian culture really fit into the Melbourne lifestyle because I think Melbourne has a lot of coffee and wine to offer as well.
But you forgot one thing: soccer, football.
Oh, of course. Soccer is like our religion. Like we live and breathe soccer every day. And even at the moment, I wake up in the morning and I watch the highlights on YouTube because I want to see what my team, which is Juventus, did.
Juventus. Wow.
Oh, the old lady.
Sorry, guys. I'm one of those.
So are you confused sometimes when you arrived to Australia about the name of this soccer and football? Because they call football here in Australia different things.
It's footy.
So when I first arrived, I actually thought that the national sport was rugby. Because in my head, from an Italian point of view, Australia is rugby. Then I come to Melbourne and I see everybody with footy. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And at the beginning, to me, it kind of felt like, oh my God, this is violent. But, of course, that's in Victoria especially is really like the sport. And then understanding that in Australian culture, I think the main sport is actually cricket, which... Be honest with you guys, I never heard of it. Like until 10 years ago, I didn't even know there was a thing. But really popular around the world, 100%. But cricket is one of those things that to me was like, what is it?
Have you understand the rules yet or not?
Oh, look, I think what I understood, from watching Boxing Day game usually at my father-in-law, is everybody is sitting on the couch drinking beer and having conversation, and the cricket is on the background playing. But nobody is really super interested, but everybody's keeping the score. Have I understood the rule? Oh, look, I know that you have to pretty much get those two bits down with the ball, and that's as far as I go.
Yeah, but
everything else,
football or soccer, as Australian says, you can't blink even.
Yeah.
You have to watch continuously what is happening next. And
it's a continuous sport. You are always on the run. There is no break. There is no advertisement break. It's 45 minutes with the extra time, it's probably even 50. So 45 and 45, like it's a pretty long and intense game. And that's probably what we are passionate about it. Hey.
Yeah.
And since I've been to Australia as well, I've been watching a little bit of the Matildas as well, which is, I find it a little bit more entertaining than the male counterpart.
Okay.
Just because if I have to watch the soccer rules or whatever they're called, I much rather watch the Italian team, if it makes sense. But the Matilda is kind of like, I think, is catching the eyes of and the attention of everybody at the moment,
Yes,
especially
yes.
like it seems to be a pretty good
I think
team.
that they are number 8 in the world, so that's why they're a very strong team. And what's happening to the Italian soccer? In the last 20, 30 years, before in the 90s, in the early 2000s, you had Maldini, you had big players over there, and then that all of a sudden, look at Antonio, great players, and then nothing.
Look, I think we had a really good run of good players, because I think the reality was back then there was a lot of investment into kids. Like the reality was let's invest into kids and let them play and let them learn how to play soccer, and then they will start to play for bigger team. And the bigger team, most of the big teams will actually have Italian soccer players. Nowadays, most of the Serie A is filled with people from everywhere. So all of a sudden, because there is, I think there is less investment into the youth sector, and that's it's really going bad for the Italian soccer. Like I think, like hopefully in March we are going to qualify for the World Cup, because otherwise it will be like I think the third time in a row that we don't qualify. Which last time we lost against North Macedonia, which.
I don't know.
Some people don't know where he's on the map. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. It's been a bit disappointing. We don't even know how we won the European Cup in 2021. Let's say, like there was a bit of we won, but and it was great. It was a good celebration, but
it
was out of the blue. That was
how
out of the blue.
How could that happen? People said, how did they do it? Because they're not there at all.
But definitely on paper, England was the better team. France was a better team as well. But look, we have Italians. I think have they go forward with passion and with determination, and then we always play defense. We are always defending the ball, and
I think that Italy usually plays better against the stronger teams. So when you are playing with the teams that you think that Italy will beat normally, they have a problem. But when you play like against Germany, against France, against England, then the whole mentality of the whole mentality of the team is just changing.
We are going to probably to perform better under pressure, perhaps. I don't know. What am I going to tell you? It's I think the reality is that at the moment we don't have. I think the youth sector is in crisis. And that's what's going on. But we need a striker, for instance. I know 100% that we don't have good strikers. So as much as we want to defend, sometimes you got to score some goals.
You can see it on the last qualifying game against Norway. It was like,
oh my God, that was brutal. I was in Italy with my dad watching the game. And I'm like, oh my God, let's watch a game with Dad. I'm never in Italy anymore. So the minute that I can be there sitting with my dad, drinking a glass of wine, watching the game, we are winning 1-0. To qualify, we were supposed to win 10-0 or 9-0. So that would never have happened. But from 1-0 at 60 minutes, you ended up losing 4-1. That was unbelievable. And of course, they have Haaland, which is a really great player.
Norway, it was Norway, yeah.
But really, really disappointing. I was like, oh my God. Oh.
I remember when I was here and I was watching the final of the World Cup in 2006. So watching it in Carlton, the whole street went crazy when Italy have won the final against France. It was crazy in Carlton, in the Ligon Street. it went really like, you cannot go there. You need to speak Italian to be there.
I was in, I think it's called Piazza Italia from memory, or
Yes.
Lincoln Park. I can't remember. I was watching in Carlton the European Cup versus England, and the whole square was Italian. There was no
Yes.
English support. The English supporters were in the pub. Us, we were on the street. Doesn't matter if it was freezing or not. We were out there.
Yeah. The conversation is very interesting, Usman. We keep continuing, but after a short break, probably.
Let's go for a break, yeah.
We
Because
come back soon.
I want to speak about the coffee culture.
Of
here.
course,
Does
yeah.
you think that, of course, not compared to Italy, but how the coffee culture?
Yeah.
here?
But let's wait the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yes.
We'll come back.
Let's come back.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is North and West Melbourne Neighbourhood Centre, and we host programs and activities for locals. Visit us at nwmnc.org.au or call us at 9328 1126, or even better, come in person at 58 Errol Street, North Melbourne.
Okay, allora, how are you?
Good.
Do you feel well? Did you have your coffee for today?
I actually had, I was saying 6 or 7. I don't count them anymore, actually.
Oh, so do you think that, what do you think about the coffee culture here in Melbourne, especially in North and West Melbourne here?
Oh, there is a great coffee culture around here. Like I live in Yarraville, and I used to live in North Melbourne. Now I live in Yarraville. And one of the things that is kind of missing for me from North Melbourne is actually all the coffee shops. We have really amazing coffee shop around North Melbourne, and I keep discovering new ones. I try to do my best of trying coffee shops every day. Like I'm not one of those people that will go to the same coffee shop every day. I kind of tend to differentiate myself to I don't know. I try to try different coffees.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of an espresso drinker at home, as most of the Italians, but outside I tend to drink filter coffee. So yeah, I've been loving North and West Melbourne coffee scene. That is just like keep discovering new places, and new bars, new cafes are opening up basically on a monthly basis at the moment. Like
That's very interesting. Maybe you can share with us, like, where are your top 3 coffee shops that you would like? Oh, so you want to drink, because like the Italian coffee, so you're talking about
fair
cappuccino,
enough.
macchiato,
Look,
all of these ones. So
Oh,
the
but
top 3 from your what you think?
I am not a milk drinker.
Okay.
So I cannot recommend you a good cappuccino because I don't
Alright.
drink milk.
I'm a cappuccino drinker.
I don't know. It's never been something that was big in my family. I don't know why. Like we never did it. But look, probably the coffee shop that I tend to go the most is Auction Room, because it's probably the closest to me in a way, to my shop. Then I like to go to Code Black to buy my espresso beans, because I like
Code
Code
Black,
Black
yes,
espresso
yes.
beans. I just discovered, like in the last month, a co-op in Queensberry Street that basically they tend to make most of the produce that they sell into the coffee shop into like they make their own bread, they make their own cured meat.
Where is that?
It's on Queensberry Street, going towards Dryburgh Street.
Okay.
It's Queensberry Street Co-op. It's a really nice discovery for me that I've been discovering for the last month. Really interesting. Then I will say, like, I don't go there quite often, but there is a lot of coffee shop around Victoria Street that they do really good filter coffee. 279 to mention one. There is small batches as well. There is, if you go down the market, there is Market Lane. Now I just discovered that the Tone and Ample just opened up in North Melbourne as well.
Wow. I think that
good.
many.
I don't know. There is
yeah.
like you could go into a different coffee shop every day and don't never be disappointed, because I think all of them are doing a good job. At least for me, that as I said, I drink filter, so I tend to go to places that will offer me filter coffee.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
right.
That's
That's
good.
right.
That's good. And what do you
So-
think about the community? The Italian culture here has affected Melbourne a lot. And when you speak about the Italian cuisine, it's like everywhere. So when everyone thinks about it, about the Mediterranean cuisine, first thing Italian cuisine and Greek cuisine and Turkish cuisines and all of them. So they have a great impact. So and the Italian culture has been very rich. How do you feel about the presence of the Italian community in the area here in North and West Melbourne?
Look, I feel that there is definitely a big impact. Like I think Italians, when they migrate, the first wave of migration of Italians, I think, kind of made discover to most of the Australian a different cuisine from what they were used to, and perhaps at the moment there is a boom on Italian food. In every single suburb, probably two things that cannot be missed is an Italian restaurant that gives you pizza and an ice cream joint. Like, I think those are the two main, I don't know, the main two hospitality things that you will find in every suburb. So of course we have them in North Melbourne, and yeah, like I find that the Italian food, we are really passionate about our food. Then there is differentiation between like North, Center, and South, as most of other country, of course. But yeah, we tend to be proud of what we do. I feel that, of course, in certain restaurants here in Melbourne, you will find more of a traditional kind of recipes, and some other will be more catered for an Australian kind of public. So controversially is please don't put cream into carbonara. That's really, really wrong.
They don't have like primo secondo. I tried to, okay, where is your primo? Then, no, we don't have primo and secondo. What's happening?
But look, the reality is, I think it's really normal for Italians to have a little bit of pasta, a little bit of meat, and a little bit of salad. Try a bit of everything and have a smaller, not like you could have a big portion. That's not what I'm trying to say. But the reality is you might have a bit of pasta, a bit of meat, a bit of vegetables, and that's your primo, secondo, and contorno. Yeah, definitely. Like it's the idea of not filling yourself off just with one thing. Then I think we like to share our aperitivo and antipasto. Like I think those ones are really, really popular, I guess, around the world and in Australia perhaps. Our cured meat and cheeses, of course, our stuff is better than France. That's
next guest will be from France.
To respond to that, yeah.
Oh, when you talk about the food, especially pizza, so maybe I can't talk. My mouth is watering. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the leather and shoes and those kind of stuff. So before talk about the shoe repairing and shoes making, what does leather mean to you? Just tell us something about this.
And where did you learn? And where did you learn it? Like you said, that's a family thing.
Yeah. So, as I said before, I am third generation cobbler. So my grandfather and his brother-in-law, both of them were doing cobbling on the side when they were kids. Like it was really normal to learn a trade when you were in your 10, 11 years old, like when you're in your teenagehood, let's say.
Yeah.
So they learned how to repair shoes back then. And then, of course, they went to their own career, but they always did a little bit of repairs on the side. While my dad is the first one that, let's say, opened up a store and made it his own profession. And with the help of my mom, my mom was, let's say, more of a leather worker to start. So with the help of my mom, I think they went more into leather working, so a creative more than a creative role, a creative profession more than just a repair. Because the reality is, when you repair shoes, you get given something and you're just gonna repair what you get given. Well, if you're a leather worker, you wake up in the morning and you wanna make a bag, you make a bag. You wanna make a hat, you make a hat. It's a different kind of profession. Like I wish at some stages I can actually do a bit more of leather working, because a little bit of like, it's what is missing for me at the moment is that creativity kind of point of view. Like tomorrow morning, I want to have 2 hours that I want to make a bag.
Yeah.
At the moment, I don't have that time, because we are actually really busy with repairs. So, but yeah, I learned basically with mom and dad being inside the store and helping them out while I was studying and at uni. And and then I learned the trade. I came to Australia, and I feel that here in Australia I had a bit more of a basic knowledge on shoe repairing. So let's say a pretty good knowledge on shoe repairing. But then with the help of the old owner of our business, so Manfred, which I say was my mentor, he kind of showed me a different way of doing things, a bit more of an English way of repairing shoes. So I think the both of the skill combined. So me being Italian and him, he is actually from Austria, but he had more of an English shoe repairing background. That's right. And both of the situation combined, I kind of made the shoe repairer that I am at the moment. So really interesting. I think that I have to thank mom and dad, of course, and I think Manfred was a really good help for me to learn part of it.
Yeah, and the business that you are already handling, which is the shoemaking, is part of the history of North and West Mid of Errol Street. Has been there for close to 8 years.
I don't have a number for you. What I know is that Manfred bought the business. So I bought the business of Manfred in 2021. Manfred bought the business in 1999. And before him, there was an Italian shoemaker. I think his name was Ted Bragagnolo, that was there apparently since the 60s. Now, the exact number, I don't have it, but as always, there's in that building, especially on 64, there's always been a shoe repair in that building that has been serving the North and West Melbourne.
So we can say that the history goes up to 60s. We can say something.
I think
maybe
what I understood is 60s. Yes, we don't know the exact number.
Yeah. Anyway, we go again for another break.
Okay.
It is interesting. I don't want to bring the breaks in the middle of the interesting talks, but we have to.
Yeah, sure.
We come back soon.
We are going to be speaking after that about the past, about the shoemaking and like leather crafting business and how it's going.
So get ready.
No worries, we are here.
We come back soon.
Yeah.
Sing Now Community Choir. Join music director Susie Kelly in this inclusive community choir for adults of all ages. The choir sings music from across the world and spanning many decades. No previous experience is required. For more info, call us at 9328 1126 or visit our website.
Yes, Mattia, we are back to the audience. We connected back. So I'm thinking, since you were speaking about the shoes repairing, I'm thinking about a lot of brands, many different brands, new brands coming from different places, especially from China, and people buying. I don't say I can't compare the quality because that's not my job. I'm not judging. People know. But just how much affect those new shoes recently? You have said about before in Italy your dad were repairing shoes. Those times I believe a lot of people wearing the leather shoes and bought from, and then they keep repairing many times, I'm sure. We did that time, the same thing. How much affected new brand shoes coming recently to the world?
Look, I think that a lot of people buy like good brands that have a good reputation and a good quality. Now, even if they are made in China, in India, in Italy, it doesn't really matter as long as you are buying something that is like a decent quality, that a shoe that is not gonna fall apart within a few months, if it makes sense. I think the problem of the industry is, as everybody else, fast fashion. Like fast fashion is, of course, something that it's a little bit hard to compete, and is not really good for people, and is not really good for us as well as repairers, because it's like, what am I supposed to repair if the shoes are meant to fall apart within 6 months? Because they want you to buy a new pair instead of repairing that one. But I find that we are actually really busy for different kind of reason. Like it's we do designer, we do people that like the shoes because it's comfortable, so it doesn't matter if they paid a lot of money or not a lot of money, they're just going to repair it because the shoe is comfortable.
That's right.
And now there is a new trend. The new trend is I don't want to throw my shoes in landfill. So I much rather buy a good pair of shoes to begin with, or something that is decent enough, and then I will repair. Or some people go to a op shop or a second-hand store and will buy something that is good quality on a bit more of affordable price because it's probably is a second life or is vintage, and then they come to us and they repair it, because the reality is with they save the shoes to get thrown in the bin, and on top of that they are wearing some really cool shoes that probably are back in fashion, or they were their grandma shoes. Like I think there is a really big trend on reuse and recycle from the industry, basically.
I believe, Mattia, the pure leather gives people like a prestige, the dignity, I believe, or comfort. How much you agree with me with this?
Yeah. I feel that it's really, I think it's really
Different,
good for you to wear leather shoes or leather garments. Like it's some people might disagree with me because of it's part of an animal and everything, but the reality is that it's wearing shoes on your foot that is leather instead of being synthetic is actually it's better for your foot health.
Yes,
to
friendly,
begin with.
more friendly.
Then of course some people like to wear leather shoes for a status kind of situation. Like it's like these leather shoes are looking cool, or are from a brand that is really well recognized, and all of a sudden they feel empowered, or oh my god, I really look good on my red pumps, so I need to wear my red leather shoes because that one gives me my identity, what that was giving my strength. I look good on those shoes. That's gives you a bit of pride and joy, and as you said, the dignity. It's I think it's really important for sometimes for people mental health to just feel good into their clothes and into their shoes.
I heard someone in my country, he was wearing one shoes in more than 5 years, same shoes. Nothing happened to that. 5 years, so it was unbelievable for me. But sometimes some good quality, so last longer and longer.
Yeah. And it's very interesting. So, like, say I am an 18 years old guy, just coming and say, okay, well, I want to buy a shoe. Why do you think I should buy a leather garment or leather shoe?
But look, I feel like a lot of 18 years old are going to wear sneakers, which the reality with those is that most likely synthetic materials on the inside, might have a little bit of leather outside, but most likely is mass produced in I'm guessing in China, in Vietnam, in Indonesia, what we offer is most likely like what we offer. What a lot of brands offer is probably a different kind of experience, or something that is less mass produced, something that then has a bit more of a soul. Because like the reality is, if everybody is wearing sneakers, it's hard for 18 years old to wear leather shoes, if it makes sense. Like it would be a bit like, I don't feel that my friends are doing it, so I'm not gonna do it. But we have 18, we have 19, 20 years old that want to look a little bit more old-fashioned, and they come in with their op shop Italian old school loafers, and they want to resole them, or English brogues, and they want to do some modification to that as well. And it's really cool because, I mean, of course, I think it all goes down to what kind of look you want to go for. But I see a lot of teenagers that want to go for like that shirt and trouser look. That the sneakers is not going to look good on that. Yeah. So wearing leather shoes is actually complement the outfit. Yeah. But yeah, like I think it's good to invest into something that is going to last you. So we have actually few parents that come in store with their 18 or 21 years old, and they want to guide them into buy the first pair of boots. Like, let's buy the first pair of boots that is gonna last you. Like, this is not the sneaker that you're gonna throw in the bin in 6 months.
That's right.
This is parents coming into the store, showing to the kid, hey, there is another way of doing this. So I think sometimes 18 years old need a bit of guidance. Otherwise, they're just gonna do what friends do. Which is gonna be sneakers.
But it's very interesting. Like, say, do the leather making making or crafting shops, are they up to the fashion? Because like there is a high competition from the other world. So how can they keep up with the fashion that's happening, especially for the younger generation who are seeing different types of shoes?
I think that the reality is. Like we don't manufacture anything, but that's not true. We manufacture some belts and some other leather garments, but we don't make shoes. But there is a lot of brands around Melbourne that they actually make shoes. Some of like they at least they are designed in Melbourne and then they are made overseas. But there is from memory there is a couple of brands that they are actually making shoes. In Melbourne or from memory in Ballarat. Like two to mention would be Wooten, which is a beautiful shoemaker family that makes shoes in Ballarat, and PSS, so Post Sol Studio, which is a woman-run business that from memory they make shoes out of Abbotsford of Collingwood. Wow. And they are made in Australia, leather everywhere. From memory, actually, PSS was making some interesting vegan shoes as well.
Wow!
But and they are all up to fashion, and they try. Right. The Melbourne designer scene is actually really, really interesting. There is a lot of vibrant people that are. Trying to do different things and try to do different things that they like. Then, of course, I think it's hard to then produce things in Australia, but it's interesting. There's a lot of designer in Melbourne.
Why we are not having like many shoe shops that we used to see maybe like around 30 years ago or 40 years ago?
But look, I think part of the problem is rent. Like having a shop, it means that you are paying rent to be able for people to be available for people to try on shoes. So a lot of brands, they actually just went on the online kind of scene because of this reason, because rent is most of the times is like 10-15% of your business, which is sometimes is not sustainable really. That's the reality. But of course there is still people that try to make a living with selling shoes. It's just getting harder because the margin are not the same. People are waiting for sales. People don't really have a lot of money to be able to dispose on a pair of shoes.
Is it a lot expensive then compared to other compared to the other shoes? in the market? The
But I guess
leather
if you
was
get
too
a pair of
expensive?
shoes that is designed in Melbourne and made overseas, or is designed in Melbourne and made in Melbourne, you are going to look at like $400-$500. It's not really. It is accessible, but it's not accessible to everybody. Of course, I think it's a middle class kind of shoes, perhaps. Then some people are not going to care for that kind of shoes, so they will just go for I want $100. That's what I want to spend, and of course that's a different kind of market. But you cannot expect it to have somebody designing something in Melbourne and then have it really, really cheap, because I don't think that those things go together.
That's right. It is very interesting, but the time is our enemy, Osman. Always.
But we have still one very important question to ask about. I think that your business has been one of the supportive businesses to different events, community events happening here, and one of it was the Queensbury Cup. So why do you think that businesses should support community events that are happening here and such kind of initiatives existing in our community?
Look, I feel that, of course, as a business, we have customers from everywhere in Melbourne and everywhere in Australia. But the reality is we have a base customer of people that are North and West Melbourne resident, or Kensington as well. Or Carlton, all of the surrounding suburbs are going to come into the area to shop around. So for me, giving back to the community is something that is really important.
Means a lot.
Feeling connected with the community is, and that's why I like to sponsor the Queensbury Cup, because the reality is it's an event for kids, for family, for everybody, really. And it's my way of saying thank you very much, North Melbourne and North and West Melbourne, for your support during the year. Here is, for me, a way to say thank you.
We are thanking you for supporting.
It's really, as you said, that the time is running, and
yes, of
we are
course.
very happy to have Mattia here.
This is the longest episode ever.
I love that. I love that. And
I talk too much. Sorry.
No. I don't want it to
was
end.
very exciting.
And by the way, I wish that the Azuri is gonna qualify to the World Cup.
We should do another episode in March and see what happens.
Thank you very much, Mattia. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It was very interesting.
Thank you very much.
So, dear audience, this was our today's podcast. So, next week on Friday, we will come back and we will have a new guest. We will talk something else in that episode too.
Thank you very much, Mattia. Thank you, Sayed. And
thanks,
it's Chatman Friday, and another Friday is gone. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Chatman Friday.
A podcast for Maine in North and West Melbourne.